30 seconds. 40 feet down, 2.5. Picking up the dust. Okay, engine stop. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, 20.
On the 20th of July, 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first man to set foot on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
It was an extraordinary achievement, and since Apollo 1, the Americans had not lost a single life. Space travel looked almost easy. But, as NASA were to discover on the very next moon flight, putting people into space will always be hazardous. On the 14th of November 1969, NASA was preparing to launch Apollo 12, its second mission to the moon. That morning, a rain front had settled over Cape Kennedy, and the clouds were low.
I can remember sitting in that console with my hands sweating just prior to liftoff. Nobody knew it, but I was nervous.
But rain or no rain, President Nixon was in the crowd, and neither Griffin nor anyone else wanted to disappoint him. Anyway, why should rain make any difference?
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. Commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff. 11:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We knew what the weather was, but we weren't concerned. For some reason, we didn't think it was a problem to launch into clouds. Dick and I just kind of said, well, it's okay with us, no problem, because we fly airplanes in the rain all the time. Everything's going great, you know, and it's a new experience for me. This is my first space flight, so I'm very, very excited, probably compared to Dick and Pete.
Pete Conrad reports that your program is in.
The first 38 seconds of the launch was completely normal.
Altitude at 1.5 miles.
And then along about 50 seconds or so, something happens.
All the telemetry data, the measurements coming from the spacecraft that I was watching, all went to nonsensical values.
These warning lights come on, and all sorts of caution and alarms.
The crew started talking about this Christmas tree that had lit up.
I don't know what happened here. We had everything in the world drop out. I'm not sure if you get hit by lightning.
And the crew started reading out this long sequence of main bus undervolts, AC undervolts.
Fuel cell lights and AC bus lights. Fuel cell disconnect. AC bus overload 1 and 2. Main bus AC.
36 seconds after blastoff, Apollo 12 had been struck by lightning.
I thought we were going to have to abort. If you got a strike, it could have been a catastrophic breakup, a flip, and maybe breaking the whole vehicle apart. And with that much propellant, hydrogen, oxygen, it would have been a huge fireball.
Apollo 12 was in mortal danger. Somehow the lightning strike had cut off the flow of data to the ground, and mission control was as good as blinded.
The first thing I wanted to do was to see if I could restore my data stream.
Aaron realized that somewhere in the command module was a backup system that could save them, but its use had hardly been a major part of astronaut training.
So I said SCE to aux flight, I think that's basically the exact words. Nobody knew really what it was. And Capcom was frantically looking through his pages, and he said, oh, I think that's on A10 or something, some panel. The crew came back and said, what?
I don't think I'd ever thrown that switch in my life.
One little switch saved the mission. Mission control got its data, its sight, back. Apollo 12 had survived the lightning strike, and Bean and his fellow astronauts went to the moon and walked on it.
There it is. There it is. Finally got right down the middle of the road. Hang in there. 30 seconds. Coming down the street. He's got it made. Come on in there.
Going to the moon not only looked easy now, it looked fun. But then came the next mission. Apollo 13.